Okay, you too. I told you I'd be doing another video today, and this is out here at the LASCO and the real-time image. We had another M class eruption, and this is the latest image that they have, and I wanted to point this out to you. Look at this hot charged plasma just shooting straight out of the sun, and how far it gets away before it even cools off. I mean, this is just an amazing bit of footage right here. I wanted to get recorded and uploaded. It doesn't take an X-Player, ladies and gentlemen, to cause a Carrington event. Just the right set of circumstances and the right connections, and etc. Let's go ahead and show you the other side there. Look at how hot that bad boy is. Just an amazing piece of footage, ladies and gentlemen. And so I thought I'd get that recorded and uploaded to my site here. But that's not the only reason why I'm out here today and to do an upload. There's been a lot going on with Fukushima and what's going on there. Let's go ahead and take a look at Fukushima. This is a live shot. The TEPCO uh, cameras here that are pointed at those reactor buildings. And there's the cranes, there's the towers. But I'm telling you what, this thing is hot, ladies and gentlemen, and it's going to constantly spew radiation. And all this stuff, all this work that they're doing here is just cosmetic. Honestly, folks, they're gonna dress it all up nice and pretty for you, and it's already done its damage. But uh, you go out there and to Tokyo Electric Power Company's live cams, and you know they put this up there because they want to say, oh, well, we're not hiding anything. These are supposed to be the reactor buildings. Okay, and I believe this is number 4 in the foreground here. This is the number 3, the one they say is spewing all that steam, etc. And I tell you, it's probably spewing a lot more than just steam. Okay, how about blowing a hole in your upper atmosphere with hot particles? People out there that just don't understand radiation. That's why I say, get your own detection equipment, not just a Geiger counter. Learn how to detect other isotopes and understand how isotopes work, and you might have to learn to live with them. As we can see out here at ENE News, is also, I think, a good source of some good news. Okay, and I can go ahead and read this for you right quick because I'm a pretty quick reader. It says Fairwinds Energy Education, January 1st, 2014. The internet has been flooded with conjecture claiming that Fukushima Daiichi in Unit 3 is ready to explode. Fairwinds Energy Education has been inundated with questions about the very visible steam emanating from the Fukushima Unit 3. Let's see, folks. Do we see some very... okay, let's continue, I guess, huh? I mean, we've got to... Um, so... that's weird. We believe that this is one of the reasons TEPCO placed covers over Diachi 4 and 1. Those were the two white buildings I was showing you that was purely cosmetic, is what I was saying before. And the radioactive rubble or fusion products was left in each unit. In other words, it's just cosmetic. And heat from this ongoing decay of radioactive rubble is constantly releasing moisture or steam and radioactive products into the environment. Unit 3 is still producing slightly less than 1 megawatt or 1 million watts of decay heat. It is creating radioactive steam and hot radioactive releases, okay, because there is not enough water in the world. Sorry, I'm not still reading, but got a comment there, okay. And they have been occurring for the entire 33 months. The difference now is that the only time we visibly notice these ongoing releases is on the cold days. Okay. Now I don't know exactly what the Japanese weather is for today, but that camera was obviously it's turning morning there. So anyway, the ecologist reported that, or on this unsustained rumor, they're unsubstantiated rumors. Sorry, folks, for my grammar, but unsubstantiated rumor, which has then been used by sources like Gizmodo, or Gizmodo, the ecologist has now changed the original report without any notice or explanation. Here's the original ending. The Turner Radio Network, okay, here we go back to Turner Radio Network, is advising people on the west coast of North America to prepare for the worst in case of a meltdown of the west. A waste fuel is in fact commencing. No official warnings have been released on either side of the Pacific. And here's how it ends now. According to the Fairwinds Energy Education posting on Facebook, the reactor is currently producing about 1 megawatt of heat, equivalent to 1,000 1K kilowatt of electric fires. That's quite a bit, folks. So, okay. So, enough to provide plenty of steam. This would provide the least worrying explanation for the steam in that the radioactivity continues to decline so that and I don't think decline, decay should be the word there. So will the heat production and the volume of steam produced. If this explanation is correct, there is no reason to expect any catastrophic outcome. However, the steam is carrying considerable amounts of radiation into the atmosphere and represents an ongoing radiation hazard. Probably for the immediate area. But I'm telling you, folks, you'll know. I mean, even now, you guys need to wake up. That Fukushima is causing problems, period. Okay, we don't have to wait for another explosion. Is that what it's really going to take? I mean, you didn't, the first one wasn't bad enough for you guys. I mean, honestly, um, we're talking the reactor core is melted right into the ground. The radioactive material is getting washed out into the Pacific Ocean. Okay, and you go in to read these over your E&E News. It's a good place to get some good information about Fukushima and not have been filtered so much through TEPCO, even though they do put TEPCO stuff up there, but only to, I think, to corner them. And we got this horrible story about the sailors. Here, and when they got exposed, they were turned away from every port. No port would take them in because they're so radioactive. And everybody wants to say, "Oh, nothing to worry about Fukushima." Well, what about what's already happened? We can't, there's just so much going on. You can't even handle it all at once. And what are you going to do when these cosmetic? Let me go back to my player here. These cosmetic buildings explode again. You know, See, these cameras are going to be there so you can look at these pretty white coverings, but there's still radioactive rubble underneath of them. Okay. That's still inside of there, and they're still up there, and there are pools up there, and this building could fall and create another kaboom. And those kabooms are the ones you got to really, really, really worry about and moving all that stuff around. And there's really not much in the way that we could do about it. Um, because when they start moving that stuff around in these beautiful white new little buildings they put on there, you won't be able to see when they make a mistake so much. They'll be able to feel it for sure. Okay, because I don't know what man and machine or species are going to get in there to clean up what's inside of these white buildings. Never will. Eventually, some of the stuff will crumble to the ground. We'll have miniature chain reactions and events that'll be happening and ongoing from this site. And personally, I'll be put on record to say what you need to do is right here. See here, this area, unit number 3. Well, let's drop a hydrogen bomb, okay? A bunker buster that penetrates down to all the way down to the ground where these corium cores are, where they melted down into the ground. And let's just H-bomb this place. Now, I'm not talking about A-bombs that leave a bunch of radiation around, but H-bombs are very good about burning up radiation and consuming it. And yeah, I know it'll be horrible for us at first, but it's going to really save a lot of time, energy, money, and lives in the very long run, just like what they said about the first nuke around, huh? But thousands of nukes have been let off on this planet since their inception. Something like 2,200 nukes have been detonated on the planet Earth since their creation. And so I think if they did the science just right, they could probably come up with a nice, quick, and easy cleanup, and they wouldn't be spending these billions. But of course, these corporations are bilking you and making you clean up their hazards. They just take them and they got find another reason to dig deeper into your pocketbooks, collapse your currencies, etc. You know, and you'll pay for all the water tanks they build there, and they'll have work there in Japan for eternity to suck money out of the global economy forever. It's right there in front of your face. I have a lot to say about Fukushima. Space weather and Earth weather are like my hobbies. I've always been a Christian all my life. Um, but if this isn't a come to Jesus moment for everybody on the planet, I don't know what it'll take. This thing was hit by a mega earthquake, which started the meltdowns, and then a tsunami, which prevented their backup systems for cooling it down. And there you got, quadruple meltdowns, if not 5 and 6. They're not talking about 5 and 6 either. We don't have the truth coming out of TEPCO, except for nice, pretty white boxes, that you get to look at. So, yeah, you're ongoing, people, you need to just live now like you are surviving cancer, and living in a radioactive, reality. I hate to coin a phrase there, but like, what, um, Nubiru Magic, I guess is what his name is. He's got that little coin, a radioactive reality, but that's what it is, I have a newborn child, and I have her checked by a very good professional doctor on a regular basis. So, anyway, really do want to kind of, wrap this up a little bit for you guys. But there is a recent eruption that just happened out here. You could tell it was a M plus event here, just right at M. But it did release a pretty good portion of plasma there. Oops. And let's go ahead and see that again. Pow. Oh, let's see that again. Pow. Uh, so one reason why I do look at what's going on in space is because I honestly believe the powers that be would like to take advantage of a bad situation. And so I wanted to educate myself in the sciences so I could tell the difference, so I can think for myself. And I hope that videos like mine will inspire you all to go out there and look at these sites and learn how to read these graphs and understand what it means to watch the sun. Suspicious Observers has a good video on that. And other sites that are out there. And how to make sense of all this information right in your face. When I talk to my wife, her brain just starts to melt. So, but here we got a BZ, and it's kicking up there a little bit. Like I say, not all these sync up sometimes, so that's why I like to kind of jump around a little bit. I think our proton levels, I don't understand why this map is, it's not really showing any proton spiking yet, but I can gather that's coming. So I'm going to just keep an eye on the space weather for y'all. And my last video got a whole few hits, so, but I just really wanted to put that out there about, hey, get your own information about Fukushima. Don't let people scare you, but also be informed, that you've already been dosed, and your government is not telling you. And your land has already been irradiated. It's already too late about that. You're going to have to learn to live with it until they do the right thing. Honestly, I don't know what more to, and I don't mean live with it. You got to, educate your community and say, listen, this is the environment in which we find ourselves. That way we can continue to survive, honestly. I don't know what the Japanese are telling themselves. I really don't. I wouldn't want to live in Japan, honestly. And America, wake up. This stuff comes right at us. So anyway, you guys take care. And Fukushima is for real. Space weather events are for real. I mean, look at solar wind 604. That's just kicking butt, guys. That is just kicking butt when it comes to solar wind from that M9.9. That's got to be it right there. Or the one they had prior to that. That could be where that solar wind's coming from too. But anyway, folks, take care, enjoy, learn to watch the sun, learn to watch your political news so the day doesn't come at you like a thief in the night. Take care.